Hi, everyone. I'm Katie O'Neill, Director of Customer Success here at Qualified. And joining me today, I have Joe Casson, our VP of Solutions Engineering, and Melissa Phillips, VP of Marketing at Adecco USA. Melissa's going to take us through Adecco's major transformation since adding Qualified to their tech stack. But real quick, before we dive in, I do want to set a little context. And in a recent survey to B2B CMOs and demand generation leaders, what we understood from 50% of those leaders was that pipeline growth was their number one priority. We all know this. We're all experiencing that. We actually know that today, more than ever, CMOs are under incredible pressure to grow their pipeline and with even tighter budgets. So as marketers, where do we go to generate this pipeline? We're going to our corporate website. We're going to our number one sales and marketing asset. And if you think about it, everything that your revenue teams are doing, whether it's display ads, email campaigns, social media campaigns, webinars, similar to what we're on right now, everything your revenue teams are doing is driving traffic back to your site. But there's a huge problem that happens. When that traffic lands on your site, when that prospect engages with that campaign and clicks through to land on your site, we greet them with a really stagnant form. It's pretty cumbersome. We let them know, once they submit their information, they're actually showing intent. We tell them, thanks, we'll get back to you later. That's insane. This could have been your most qualified buyer. This could have been a VIP buyer live on your site right now. And we let them know we're going to get back to them later. So not only is this a pretty poor customer experience, it's actually hurting your pipeline. What we've seen across the last decade is pipeline or MQL conversion rates are declining. They've gone from about a 10% rate down to an all-time low where they're at today at a 2% rate. So what is the crux of this issue? Your corporate website is not connected to your CRM. Your number one sales and marketing asset is not connected to your source of truth. And because this is not connected, you have no idea of knowing when qualified buyers arrive or even what they're doing once they get on your site. And because you don't know when someone's there, you have no way of converting them. You have no way of engaging with them. So the fix is connecting your website with your single source of truth, Salesforce. When you do this, you combine these two powerful platforms, you have total visibility into every visitor on your site. You can then take it to the next level. You can greet them by name, make it much more personalized. You can engage in real-time conversations, convert them right on the site instead of those stagnant forms. This motion is called the Pipeline Cloud. And the Pipeline Cloud is a set of technologies and processes that are guaranteed to generate your business more pipeline. It's the future of pipeline generation for Salesforce customers. And it all starts with the foundation of a Salesforce connected website. So the Pipeline Cloud tells you exactly who is on your site and when, including target accounts, different open opportunities, other go-to-market segments that you care about as a business. When they arrive, you can engage in real-time conversations. It can help inform your outbound sequences. As your sales reps are sending outbound emails to prospects, who should they send them to? The Pipeline Cloud can help inform that. Even better, it can help inform how you think about advertising. So as you do your account-based advertising efforts, you want to greet those prospects and those accounts when they arrive on your site, right when their interest is most peaked. Finally, the Pipeline Cloud allows you to zoom out and better surface account-based buyer intent data to understand who is in market to buy right now. How should you be prioritizing these efforts? So the Pipeline Cloud is the future of pipeline generation for Salesforce customers. This is what we're so excited about to show you today. We do want to dive in, show a quick demo. So Joe, I'm going to have you take us through a demo as we walk through how Adecco used the Pipeline Cloud to generate more pipeline for their business. So what we have here today, we're on Adecco's website. This is their number one sales and marketing asset. And without a connected website, Joe has no idea when qualified buyers arrive, and again, even how to engage. So with the Pipeline Cloud, when Adecco connects their website, we have all the great data that they have within their Salesforce instance available to us as Joe engages. All of this starts within Salesforce, their number one source of truth about their customers. So diving into the account record, what we can see, we have important information like the account tier, account assignment information, territory details. All of this information is helping Joe better understand who this buyer is and why they're on the site. So when we connect these two platforms, Joe has much more visibility to who's on the website. Diving over into Qualified, what we can see is we have a bird's eye view of every visitor that's live on the website right now. This is such a cool view. These pulsing green dots are the qualified buyers that are live on Adecco's site right now. And on the left-hand side, we have a live stream of every visitor that's coming in currently. This is a live view of everyone that's arriving on the site. Now, super cool view. I love looking around the world at where people are. But as a sales rep, a busy sales rep, Joe wants to know who are the buyers that matter to him? How should he prioritize his efforts? So when we click into the segments, the qualified live streams, we see different audience segments neatly organized in priority order from left to right based on custom criteria that Adecco defined, like the account tiers that we saw earlier in Salesforce. This is massively helpful for a sales rep like Joe. He knows exactly
Targeted
where to
LinkedIn
go.
ad traffic. Someone from Betterment is on the site.
What was that? A VIP buyer arrived right on the site right now. You just heard it. Qualified sounded the alarms within the application. Not only that, Joe also got a Slack alert. He also got an alert on his mobile device, so he knows to take swift action right now. Sally is a qualified buyer. He needs to engage. So we click into Sally's visitor card and we can learn a bit more about her. On the left-hand side, we have the Qualified Visitor 360 view. This is surfacing important information from Sally as a buyer. Who is she? Why do we care about her? What's her information about her account? As we dive into the Salesforce account record, what we can see is Sally's located in North America East. This is Joe's patch. This is why Sally was routed to Joe versus some other rep on Joe's team that's less familiar with Sally's account. Super cool. Here in the live view in the middle is the qualified live view. This is where we can see Sally's active browsing behavior. We can see every scroll. Look how cool this is. We can see everything she's scrolling through, every page she's navigating to, everything she's highlighting. This is her digital body language, so Joe can understand what she's interested in as a buyer. Even better, right below is the qualified timeline view, which is a historical reference of everything that this visitor has done on the site to date. Here we can see Sally click through a targeted LinkedIn ad. This is qualified for advertising in action. Joe can see the exact copy and creative that drove Sally back to the site, so he has more context as a seller. What is she interested in? What piqued her interest? What drove her back to the site? He can engage in a really personalized way. Now here, what we did is Qualified automated an experience live on the website. We created a very customized and specific message to her based on that targeted LinkedIn ad. And in this case, Sally has two options. She can either select to chat now, or she can book a meeting at a later date that's convenient for her. And in this case, it looks like she wants to book a meeting. So here, in just a few clicks, we're offering Sally Joe's calendar so that she can select a time at a future date to meet with him. And in just a few clicks, Sally has that next meeting right here on the books. Oh, and what's that? Looks like Joe wants to chat. So here, if Sally's ready, they can jump in a live face-to-face video call. This is amazing. This is the pipeline cloud in action. This is conversions happening live on your website. We know when you can get on a face-to-face conversation, your conversion rates will increase. So here, meanwhile, while Joe and Sally are conversing, we are capturing all of this data and rolling it up under the account to surface high buying intent. So as we dive into signals, as this page loads, we are capturing thousands of data points across your website, different visitors on the site, different pages they've been on, and we're surfacing important data to understand their buying intent over time and who's in market to buy. This is really helping Joe understand which accounts he should go after as a sales rep. So as we scroll up and look at the accounts that are hot or on fire and surging, we're going to see Autodesk, who's hot right now. So let's click into Autodesk. At the very top, we can see important intent data, like engagement intent, which is account-based website activity, how many visitors have been on the site, what pages have they been on, have they interacted with a sales rep. We also have research intent, which is content this account has consumed across third-party platforms. Here in the middle, we have a visual representation of this account's buying intent over time. And on the right-hand side, we have a detailed activity list, other important information Joe can leverage, different pages viewed, current research topics, visitors that have been on the site, and much more. All of this is so valuable and powerful for a sales rep like Joe, so he has context for who he's reaching out to and why. All of this same great data lives in our favorite spot, Salesforce, where Joe and his sales team spend majority of their time. As Joe's digging into different accounts, he can understand who should he be outbounding to right now. And Autodesk is an account he should be outbounding to today. So he jumps into Outreach, and all of that same great data that we just saw is also live within Outreach. He can leverage it to create a contextually relevant message out to the buyer at Autodesk. So in this case, it's Claire. Claire is a buyer over at Autodesk. And when Joe sends this email to Claire's inbox, it's at the right time with the right message to the right buyer.
Jill Casson, Claire Roberts from Autodesk has clicked through your email.
Boom, just like that. This is what we call a magic moment. This is amazing. This is every sales rep dream. Claire, the buyer, clicked through Joe's email. His email piqued her interest. She arrived back on the site. You heard it again. You heard the alert. Joe now knows he can go and take swift action. What is so amazing down here in the qualified live view, we can see the exact email copy as well as the exact link that Claire clicked to drive her back to the site. This is qualified for outbounding. This is something that sales reps have never had before. Joe has all of the context to create a contextually relevant message out to Claire. So in just a few clicks, Joe clicks to engage with her. And on the site, Claire can see that and she can engage back. Here, they're in a live conversation right here on the site. And it looks like Claire wants to discuss some questions. We all know questions can be a bit nuanced. So here they can continue to chat live on the site. They can always jump on a face-to-face video call. And here we are live again, face-to-face, discussing video chat. There we are, Claire. Thanks so much for joining us. We love your glasses. I hope you're ready to buy. Joe is ready to sell. So there we have it. That's the Pipeline Cloud in action. This is so powerful for sales reps. And while we all know the power of generating more pipeline for a business, we also want to know how our investments are performing. What is the ROI? You will have a Pipeline Cloud dashboard live in your Salesforce, so yourself and any of your revenue leaders can access it at any time. This is going to tell you how the Pipeline Cloud is sourcing, converting, influencing your pipeline, so you can continue to optimize your pipeline generation program. Now, that is just a quick look at the Pipeline Cloud and how Adecco leveraged this on their website. Joe, thank you so much for taking us through that. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Melissa Phillips, VP of Marketing at Adecco. Melissa, so excited you're joining us today, and thanks for coming.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So for those in attendance that aren't as familiar with Adecco, can you tell us a bit about your company?
Sure. Adecco is the world's largest workforce solutions provider. We work with about 100,000 clients worldwide, companies that you've heard of like Nike and Honda and Ralph Lauren and Whirlpool. Our mission is to match talented people with jobs and help them find employment. Any given day, we're placing about 700,000 people around the globe on new jobs in about 60 countries.
You just named some pretty big players in the game. That's awesome.
Yep.
Can you tell us about your role at Adecco?
Sure. I'm head of marketing here for Adecco US. We are tasked with working with our sales teams to fuel their pipeline, basically.
That's great. And Melissa, I know that you and I have been on this journey pretty much together from the start. And if
Absolutely.
you even can think about it, it was summer 2020, pretty
Mhm.
crazy time for everyone. Take us back. Can you take us back and just let us know, like, what was going on with your business at that time? What was happening with your website?
Well, I think probably the same thing that was happening with most folks about that time in 2020. We were scrambling to figure out how we took what was historically a very face to face relationship selling process and find a way to do that in a digital way, and to be able to convert the website into a lead generation and a pipeline tool in a way that we had never used it for before.
That's great. I know, Melissa, when we first started, a big reason that you came to Qualified was just reliance on forms. I remember
Mhm.
that request a talent form on your site.
Yep.
You all still use it today.
Yeah, we do.
But what challenges were you experiencing when it came to pipeline generation before Qualified?
Well, I mean, I think it's the same challenge that you have with any time you're relying on forms. They're just passive, right? So someone comes to your site, they fill out a form. By the time it gets to your sales rep, that person is long gone or they're on to something else. If you can't grab them in that moment when they are looking at your content or thinking about their buying intent, you lose them, and it's so hard to chase them down and grab that lightning in a bottle in that moment again.
Totally. Your team, you guys are pro pouncers. You always jump in, ready to engage. It's so fun to see. So tell
Absolutely.
us a little bit about the power that you unleashed when you connected your website with your Salesforce.
It was incredible. I mean, I think one of the things in staffing is that we had traditionally had this sort of thought that that clients just didn't really come to our website that much, or if they did, they weren't really there with that level of buying intent in the moment. And I think we totally blew that idea out of the water. We had no idea how much opportunity we were missing in that moment, and it had us reconfigure. I mean, some things about our entire sales process by realizing that you could grab that moment and turn it into opportunity immediately.
Totally. And visibility, you just talked about it. Like you had much more visibility to who was on your site.
Yes.
So as you think about the pipeline cloud and particularly qualified conversations, which we originally implemented in
hmm
your in summer of 2020, and most recently qualified signals. Can you talk a little bit about how that's impacted your pipeline generation strategy?
Yeah, I mean, we are intent on it has everything that we do is with the intent on driving a person to our website. We are putting them in front of our sales team, or in what we call our inside sales team, but the team that sits behind the conversation tool. Our entire intent is to get them there, and from there they can be either handled right away or triaged out to the right account owner or national sales team or whatever it might be. Um, and then once we've implemented signals, that also kind of opened up a whole new set of ahas for us, in that we were able to see the buying intent across the account was really very interesting, and definitely made our sales team sort of rethink how they approach their individual pipelines versus the sort of I don't know, the sort of time-based calendary way they had, so much as looking at buying intent and seeing who's hottest right now, who's warmest right now based on the content that's being consumed, or how they're interacting and engaging with our content.
That's great. Those aha moments that you just described are some of my favorite, and I totally remember it with the Deco team. So thank you for sharing. If we can quickly just go back to the last slide, those were some incredible numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. Can you describe just like what have you seen so far as ROI goes? This is, I mean, those numbers are
The numbers,
incredible.
yeah, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. It's definitely allowed us to capture one of our intents, and in this past year and all have been to diversify our portfolio and make sure that we are um, closing deals of all sizes, not just big national deals. And this has really helped us in that pursuit too, of making sure that we are capturing our small customers, our medium customers across different verticals. It's just really helped us target the customers that we're looking for and really grab and hold on to them. And I think a lot of this is due to just the user experience that the client gets on the other side. They are not filling out a form and identifying themselves for the multiple times across a site. We know who they are once they arrive, and we're able to greet them in a much warmer way, and really start to have that conversation, that educated conversation with them faster. And that's really helped escalate the timeline, that we're closing the deals, frankly.
Yeah. And the sales reps love it. I
Yes.
always love hopping on calls with them. They love it. So, Melissa, what a great success story. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for just being a great partner. It's been so
Thank
fun
you.
working with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and checking out a little bit more about the Pipeline Cloud. I'll send it over to Maura to bring us home.